Hello. I dropped my phone. It's been a good month. Good month for boxing. Damn, that was fast. Jump in with me, Chris. Jump in with me. Let's talk boxing together. Let's talk boxing. If you want to jump in with me. Um, I think the JoJo Haney fight should be a good one. I gotta give it to JoJo for fighting Haney because no one else wanted to fight Haney, right? And JoJo has been doing well by fighting everybody he should, right? He fought Gary Russell Jr. when no one really wanted to fight Gary Russell Jr. He's been fighting everyone, right? So I think that's gonna be a good fight. I think that's gonna be a good fight, especially because Haney had that oopsie moment with Linares, and JoJo is not the best puncher in the world, but I do think he's got more power. Hello, hi. Do you guys want to go over the weekend's fights first? Should we go over the weekend's fights, bro? This month of November was so good to us, right? We had Canelo, we had Fulton, Figueroa that just happened. We had Teofimo versus Cambosos, which was probably one of the biggest upsets of the year. This year we had a lot of upsets, but we did have. I'm glad that I like upsets. I personally do like upsets. So, um, firstly, I do want to talk Cambosos or Cambosas, right? Is what they call them. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, I think he knew by decision, but I think JoJo will make it interesting because JoJo doesn't back down, right? Like he does really well. He did, dude. That was embarrassing, and honestly, I did not watch the fight live. Like I did not watch the fight as it was airing because I was at a concert with my cousin. But I had Miguel giving me updates, and when he told me that Delfimo went down, I'm like, okay, this guy must be playing a prank on me. And then when he's like, no, like Cambosos really dropped Delfimo, and I was like, what? I was like, that's gotta be crazy, right? He's lying. And then when I saw it myself, I was like, holy shit. Don't get me wrong, it was a good fight. It was a very competitive fight, but I did think Cambosos did, the best of the exchanges and it showed, and I'm glad that the scorecards reflected that. Yes. Let's see. Let's and his dad was like, hey, you were off balance. He wasn't off balance. Like that was a clean punch. And his dad, I don't know if you guys have gone to the interview with Radio Rahim on Seconds Out that Teofimo's dad did, and that was really disturbing too, to hear his dad talk about how Teofimo's still the people's champ and he's still gonna take on Josh Taylor and beat him up and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, yo, and I don't know, you guys. I really want to tell you guys to go read Corey's um article on boxing scene. Corey actually did a whole feature on Teofimo Lopez and how his behavior was, 24 hours prior to the fight, and how he said his wife left them, how he's having issues with his family, and of course those are not excuses, right? We don't want to make excuses for somebody. But at the same time, like that's gotta be a bigger issue because if you guys remember when Teofimo was fighting Lomachenko, you know how they did the whole build up for that as well. Teofimo cried, like Teofimo cried on camera, and he was talking about how he wished his dad was more of a dad and less than a trainer 24/7. And I do feel bad for him. I do feel bad for Teofimo in that way. Was nothing to take away from Cambosos. Cambosos was still the better fighter on Saturday night. But you do gotta realize that Teofimo needs to put boundaries with his dad and change trainers if he really wants to take on the Josh Taylors of the world and take on more competitive opposition, right? So I don't know, guys. What do you guys think about his dad? I think at first he would be like, oh, he's kind of like Angel Garcia with Danny Garcia, right? But I don't think Angel Garcia was this toxic. What do you guys think? Doesn't have to. Let me see. I had two different things today about there. One, he had injured elbow. Oh, I had not seen that. You gotta tell me where you read that from. Corey from Boxing Scene. He's a good friend of mine. His article goes deep on Teofimo and what he was saying. In his pre-fight interviews with the DAZN people. The only thing that's turning boxing right now is Canelo taking a W. Maybe there was a tire. I don't even remember what he was wearing. They're lucky George missed the follow up, right? Yeah, I think Teofimo also landed some really good punches throughout the fight, but nothing that really hurt Cambosos. Yes, Cambosos was dropped, I believe, in the 10th round as well, right? But it wasn't anything that was really like devastating, right? Um, I have not seen the Teddy Atlas podcast. Maybe I'll see it after, but it did raise a lot of concerns to me. George was landing the left hook all night and getting better in the exchanges. And at first I said ring rust, right? But they were both out of the ring for an equal amount of time. So we can't just say it's ring rust because then Cambosos, you got to give Cambosos that benefit of the doubt that he would have also done better if the fight had been sooner, right? Teofimo, well, his coach is his dad. I mean, he does have that other coach, but yes, he should fire them both but it has to be that's what I mean. It has to be a really toxic situation because, you know, most of the time when Teofimo's dad talks, when Teofimo Senior's talking, usually Teofimo Junior is just like letting his dad talk. He doesn't say much. And now with this buildup, he was also talking, right? With this buildup, Teofimo was also kind of being very, very outspoken and kind of disrespectful, right? So I think his dad really did get to him, and I don't know. It has to be toxic. It has to be a toxic situation for Teofimo to not be able to set boundaries with his dad. To be like, hey, you gotta shut the hell up every now and then. Like I'm the fighter. I'm the one that's gonna get in the ring. Like I'm the one that's gonna get in the ring, not you. So for Teofimo's dad to be saying all this stuff and then Teofimo, getting dropped in the first round, that's gotta hurt. But it's not even like, damn, I was wrong, like my son should have trained better or we underestimated Cambosos as an opponent. No, it's like, no, we won that fight. We won 10 rounds to 2. We, you know, we should have went up to 140 because he made that excuse too, like, oh, my mistake was keeping my son at 135 too long. Like he just fought Loma a year ago. So, like it's just all these excuses do really they're really annoying, but at the same time you gotta understand that with the female, like, and his dad, it has to be toxic. Theo said he was hurt. Yeah, yeah. I remember that. I remember that in the press conference, he said something like, I have an injury or something like that. So they interviewed Rolly, and Rolly said he knew it was coming in the fight. Ellie from ES knew the saying pneumonia thing. Well, if you remember, there was this clip I think Lazy Lefty on Twitter shared with Twitter with Ellie Setback telling Teofimo, oh, I thought you won, like you guys won that. And he also said the same thing to Mikey Garcia with like the Sander Martin fight. And I could say like, okay, that was a close fight, but I wouldn't say I had Teofimo winning, right? But yeah, I don't know what's going on. Theo has said about, yeah, like, and I feel bad for him because as a person with a dysfunctional family myself, like it's hard to set boundaries, right? And I'm pretty sure it's hard for Teofimo to tell his dad to be his dad. Like, yes, he could be his trainer in the ring, but other than that, just be his dad. Be a dad. Theo's dad is beyond toxic. He and Theo saying he was a face of box. You know what fucking did it for me? When I was like, yo, like this isn't normal. Like this is some really toxic shit. When Teofimo Sr. said something like, The only thing that the only bad thing about this loss is that now we can't say we're better than Mayweather. I'm like, what? Like that was your concern all along? He's like, oh yeah, now we can't say we're better than Mayweather because now we got this loss, even though the people know we won. This is the interview he had with Radio Rahim on seconds out right after the fight because Radio Rahim works with the zone, so that he had access to Teofimo and Teofimo's dad post fight. So when Teofimo's dad said that, I'm just like, whoa, like this is deeper than what we know. This is deeper than what we think, because for this man to not only make excuses and say that make excuses, but simultaneously say shit like, we know we won this fight, like Adrian Broner type style shit. He immediately went to, now we can't say we're better than Mayweather. Like, why was that ever? Why was that? What? Like that shit just had me off sorts of fucked up. I feel for him, You excited for Devin Haney versus Jojo? Me too. I'm gonna be in Vegas, y'all. I'm gonna be in Vegas for Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz. Jojo got his South del Monte pass reward for. Hey, you guys gotta stop that shit, low key. I get it, and it's funny because who the fuck is riding with Plant? But y'all gotta let that shit go of, oh, you have to side with your nationality. That doesn't. It's boxing. You side with whoever style you like more, whoever you like more. I don't always root. I'm Mexican. I don't always root for some Mexican. I don't. I don't. Sometimes I root for someone else. Uh-oh. My camera tripping again. Sometimes I root for someone else. I don't just root for my nationality, and we can't expect fighters to either. I think that JoJo's siding with Plant was more of like him throwing shit up Canelo, maybe for the leaving Golden Boy shit, or I don't know. I don't know what that was about. Or maybe just Jojo Diaz likes Plant, but I don't know why else he would have that preference. It does seem disingenuous, like it doesn't seem like Jojo Diaz. I never seen him root for Plant ever before, so I do think this has more to do with not liking Canelo than liking Plant. But honestly, I don't do that. I don't do the, oh, I'm Mexican, so I'm gonna root for a Mexican every time. I still like see Delphi Haney. Yeah, I mean they're young, like Delphimo's young. This loss shouldn't take away from him too much. And honestly, he's young and he's talented and he can improve, and it's not like he got like demolished or completely a box, or completely just ran through, like he didn't. It was like a nice competitive fight. He just got to get rid of his dad. He has to. It's crucial that he does. Hi, how are you? I'm pretty good. You want to jump on with me? I don't know if you're still on, but if you want to jump on with me, let me know. One thing for the trainer to do some hyping of their boxer rather than there's no relationship. However, I'm not a fan of taking it. Yeah, like it's just it's a cake. Sometimes it gets too much. The concert was really good. Yeah, I wasn't tipsy in the streets of Mexico, but I was tipsy in a confined space. But it was nice. I was definitely asking my friend for updates. Theo Senior was literally living through his son. Yeah, it's like those dance moms on like the dancing show on TLC where like they dress their kids up in like outfits so they can dance and win pageants. Like this is that, but with boxing. Joseph. Oh, see, there you go. So boxers are just gonna like start with their friends. Didn't just seem like they don't want this more? I mean, there isn't a rematch clause because this one's a purse bid, and it's a mandatory. Usually, mandatories don't have rematch clauses. One, two, um, it was purse bid, so there's no room for rematch clauses when you go to purse bid. But I think he's just gonna go up to 140 now because he said he's like, oh, I should have gone to 140 instead of. He's like, I should have dropped all the belts instead of staying at 135. I should have just dropped everything like everybody else does, which is like, okay, that makes sense, I guess, but it doesn't take away anything from Cambosos that night. Like I don't want to take anything from Cambosos. Now, let's talk about Figueroa versus Fulton because I saw that on Monday morning, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's a good fight." That was a really, really good fight with Fulton and Figueroa, right? And I can see why some people were like upset about the results. I know some people maybe had Figueroa up because of his, relentless style. Because Figueroa is just relentless. Just when you're like, motherfucker, you don't get tired. He was just on. He was on Figueroa. I mean, he was on Fulton like a motherfucker, and even hurt Fulton. I believe. Like I didn't count how many times. I think he really hurt him once, but Figueroa claims he heard Fulton like 10 times or 5 times. Mike, let me know if you want to hop on with me so we can talk the weekend's fights and you can give me your input. Let me know and I'll send you the link. Um, but Fulton is a beast, right? Like coming in, I favored Fulton just because of his boxing ability, and to me, always boxing ability overcomes pressure. Because if you're able to withstand the pressure from like that pressure fighter, that freaking relentless fighter, and you are able to counter and still land the better of the exchanges regardless of being pressured like that. I thought Fulton was gonna do just that. What I was scared of was that Figueroa was going to land one of those same punches that hurt Nettie, right? But you also got to think about the fact that Nettie was coming up weight classes. Nettie Nettie was coming up in weight classes, so that's the reason why, in my opinion, it makes more sense for him to have lost to Figueroa. So it was a really, really close fight. Like it was a close fight, and the scorecards were a little wide for my taste. When I saw everybody complaining about the scorecards on Twitter, I'm like, oh fuck, like I hope it wasn't like some ridiculous shit. But when I saw the actual fight, I'm like, okay, yeah, like it was kind of some ridiculous shit. Like I don't think it's fair that Figueroa only got 4 rounds in some of the judges' scorecards. And yes, you can say, well, the fight was closed and a lot of the rounds were swing rounds. But to only give Figueroa 4 rounds, to me, I'm like, damn, that's kind of sucks. Like that's disrespectful. But like at the end of the day, I did think Fulton looked cleaner, landed the better of the exchanges. And Figueroa, again, he's young, man. He's a young ass kid, and I think he can definitely become champ again. I don't think this loss is gonna take anything away from Figueroa because Figueroa is good. He's that damn good, and he's young. I don't think it's gonna take anything away from him. Yeah. See, that seems about right. 114, 113, 115, 113. Um, I don't know, like I didn't really I'm not gonna sit here and say that I sat down and I scored it right but round by round, but I did see Fulton just have the cleaner of the exchanges, even though like I know some people must have had Figueroa winning because they're more fans of that style of that relentless pressure, right? So you can have I don't think this was a robbery, but I can see why some people had Figueroa winning. Breaking news: the Charles. What? Shut up! Shut up! No way! No way! Why? Are you lying to me right now? I'm gonna look up Charlo on Twitter. Where does that? Where does it say that? I don't see anything about that. I know he was mad after the Canelo plant fight when somebody asked him about Canelo. He like flipped the fan off and like threw the phone off the people's hands. But I don't see. Are you lying? Are you playing a prank on me? Because you know. I thought going into 12 rounds, both fights, the winner of the round deserved to win. I thought Cambosos won the 12th. I saw that. I saw that Cambosos outlanded Teofimo in every way in the 12th, but most judges gave it to Teofimo. So I'm just like, I don't know. Hi, how are you? So I don't know how they came up with that. And with the full again, like I think with both Teofimo and Figueroa can jump back. They're young. They're actually good boxers, right? Like they are talented. It's not like their belts were just a fluke or anything. I don't think that. I don't think, we saw Devin Haney said that Teofimo was a fraud because he lost to Cambosos. But I think that takes away from Cambosos, preparation to this fight. I just don't think it's fair for people to call Teofimo a fraud after losing to Cambosos just because they also uh didn't take Cambosos seriously. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's very fair. But I don't know. I think both of these guys can definitely come up and make a title run once again, and definitely get the belt one more time. But let's keep talking about this weekend's fight. So not only do we have Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz, which you kind of briefly touched upon, I'm going to be in Vegas since Thursday. I'm going to go and cover that fight, so I'm excited because that's a good fight, and we do have some good action on the undercards. We have a women's card on the undercard. We have another like title bout as well. I think that is a title bout. So it should be like a nice little card, right, from Vegas at the MGM. So it should be good. Why am I all slow? What the hell's up with that? Do you think that once a fighter becomes undisputed, they should return belt to the organization? No, hell no. Hell no, I earned those. If I earned those belts, I'm keeping them until someone fucking drags me out of the ring to get them. Like, someone has to knock me the fuck out for me to give those belts back. Like, I mean, and it depends, like with Delfima, I guess it would have made sense if he, like, but not really. And let me tell you why. Because yes, Dofimo did the damn thing, and I still admired Dofimo for this. Dofimo still went up and beat the man, right? He beat Lomachenko. He, instead of hoarding all, his belt that he won against Comey and just keeping that belt and making unnecessary, just too frequent title defenses, right, against mandatories. I don't think that he should have just. I'm glad that he didn't just get all these title defenses against useless mandatories. Like, he just went and straight to unification, and I gotta really always just tip my hat off to Delfimo for that. And he did beat the man who was arguably, for a lot of people, the number one pound per pound, right? So good for him, but doesn't mean I don't want to see him against the younger guys like Ryan, like Tank, like Devin Haney, right? The likes of William Cepeda, who's also coming up. Um, I still want to see him against those guys. So it would have prolonged that, and but I guess now it doesn't matter because he's still gonna go up, and it's gonna get prolonged anyway if he goes up, and he thinks that he's gonna get the Josh Taylor fight right away. But I don't think Josh Taylor's gonna want to give Teofimo a chance to get his belt when he has already lost, right? And then it depends how Top Rank. We don't know how Top Rank's gonna treat Teofimo now that he left to another platform and then lost his belt, right? Like, we don't know how he's gonna act. We really don't know how Bob Arum's gonna do him. I like it when they clean out the division one by one. Yeah, and there's this argument on Twitter all the time, like, just because you're undisputed doesn't mean you cleaned out the division. And it's a criticism that Canelo gets, right? Canelo himself gets that criticism. Like, oh, yes, Canelo's undisputed, but he can't say that he cleaned out the division because he hasn't fought David Benavides, right? So that is Canelo's criticism. Like, yes, he's undisputed, but did he clean out the division? Maybe not, because he got the first three belts all in one fight. So it's valid criticism, but it's preference. Fulton said his had Mexican fit. Yeah, that I saw that. It's still corny to me. And I'm not. I don't know. I guess when I tweeted that, people thought that I meant him specifically, but I just meant in general. It's corny as hell to me. Uh oh, I don't know. I don't know how Twitter works. I don't know. Says Cubole, give me your take on Haney versus Diaz fight. I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think Jojo definitely has the tools to make that fight interesting, especially given the fact that Devin Haney has a little bit of a suspect chin. But I think overall, Devin Haney is gonna make Jojo struggle with his speed and his boxing ability, right? I don't know. Diaz did really well against Tevin Farmer. Um, but I think it's gonna be interesting. I think I still gotta give Devin Haney I think I gotta give Devin Haney the advantage. Hi, Sean. Hi. Well, Cepeda's gonna fight soon. No, isn't Cepeda gonna fight in February? He's fighting someone. I just forgot who. I know Cepeda's fighting in February, right? Didn't they say that? And then Ramirez is fighting Pedraza also in that same card. Or am I tripping? I hope Jojo pulls it off. Haney's got a big reach advantage. Yeah, I think exactly. Jojo has to pass. has to make it past the jab and has to counter. Right, Jojo has to be relentless in there. Jojo has to match kind of a similar style as maybe a Marcos Maidana, right? To try to override Devin Haney's jab and boxing ability and footwork and speed. So I don't know. I think he can definitely make it interesting, but I don't see him winning. That's just me though. We'll see though. Let's see. Why am I just going slow out of nowhere? It's so fucking weird. I'm so confused as to why this is going slow. Let's see. Haney, WHO, Jojo, my prediction. Yeah, I think Jojo can make it interesting, but I think towards the second half he's going to get outboxed by Devin. And it should be good, but also Devin again, he has he's chinny. So maybe Jojo can capitalize on that. Troy says, my guess is that Jose Cepeda is going to get the next shot at Josh Taylor. Dude, I would love that. I would love that because Jose Cepeda is this guy that like a couple times already has been kind of like written off. Like he's like, okay, yeah, like he had his run. Like he's already done good enough on his own. He did his best. And then he comes and surprises us, right? So I thought he was already gonna take on the role of like a gatekeeper type shit at 140, but no, he's very much game, and I'm really excited to see him against Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor wins, but I do think Jose Cepeda makes it really interesting. That's right. Yeah, he did. Oh my god. Well, the first round when he got dropped, he's like, "Oh, you were just off balance." He's like, "You were not hurt. You were off balance." Like, why are you gaslighting your son, sir? Like, that was a clean ass fucking shot that landed on him that dropped him. Why are you? Why are you gaslighting your son? Like, tell him something useful so he doesn't get caught with that punch again. Like, why are you telling him he was off balance, that it's okay? Like, that to me was bonkers. And then he kept contradicting himself. He's like, oh, be calm, be calm. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay calm. And then he'll be like, why haven't you gotten this dude out already? What's wrong with you? Like, bro, what? Pick one. He was bad in the corner. He was bad. To me, Devin's big. Yes, and he has some good speed too. He has good speed. I was shocked to see people counting Chona again. Dude, no, because Vargas hadn't really fought anybody, and he already had kind of like very, kind of weird losses. He had lost once, right? And it was just like, I don't know. Chon has, I think Chon's last performance before that in the undercard Ramirez versus Taylor was so bad that people counted him out, right? Because he struggled against this other fighter, and people counted him out. People are like, "Oh, Chani sucks now," right? But no, I don't think. No, maybe it was just a bad performance. You got JoJo, by knockout, 12 round decision. Are you gonna bet on it? I seen a few channels saying he was shot after the Lundy fight. Yeah. Wait, like shot? Like he got shot? Or just like he was done? I read that too, that he was but yeah, Lundy was like older and he had been inactive, but never we learned from the Cambosos, we learned from Sandra Martin, like don't count out contestants, like don't count them out. Motherfuckers train. They know that this is a big stage that they're coming to. If you're fighting on a fucking top rank fight that's like a really big draw, you're gonna try to fucking train and show off for that. So maybe Chon Cepeda just didn't train properly and didn't take this guy seriously, but he didn't look awful. It's just he didn't look as good as he did against, let's say, Baranchik. And a lot of people say that fight took a lot out of him, but it didn't seem like in this fight with Vargas. Mason, can you do me a favor? Mason, you bring me one, please? Please, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Can't wait for this weekend. I'll be. Oh, me too. Say hi to me if you see me. I will be there. Shaggy Turtles 43. Uh, anything but the lemon. Yeah, I'm gonna be there too. Not the green one. What was your? I didn't score it. I'm sorry. I didn't sit down and score it. To me, just looking at it, I think it was a close fight, but I still had Cambosos like he didn't let Teofimo get much into rhythm because even when Teofimo landed like that shot that put Cambosos down, Cambosos wasn't really like hurt like that, to where you're like, oh fuck, the end is near, like Teofimo's gonna turn this shit around. Even though his dad was like celebrating as soon as the knockdown happened.
I think this is like all the flavors.
Thank you. um Teofimo's dad was like celebrating already. KO. What round? I mean, Devin Haney do have a suspect chin, but I don't. Damn. Let's see. Like he was. I think it said shot. I'm like, someone shot him. Yeah, dude. He sounded corny as hell. He sounded like Broner. I'm excited for this one. I think it should be good. It's a nice little step. It's a nice little cupcake fight for Ramirez to get his confidence back because Pedraza I think his better days are gone, right? He lost to Lomachenko. He lost to Gervonta, right? So it's like okay, like, but it's a nice name for Ramirez to like get his confidence back and his pop back and get back into the division because Ramirez, yeah, he lost to Josh Taylor, but those were the two top dudes. So I'm not gonna take anything away from Ramirez for losing to the other top guy in the division, right? I think he still has a chance to come up and do some good work. Lundy had to look good again, spin around. Yes, see, and only boxing fans would know this, right? Like people who are familiar with someone like Lundy, even if he's older and shit, because we're familiar with his style. I did expect Zepeda to look better than when he did, but I don't want to take anything against him again, away from Lundy. That was a good fighter, but yeah, unnecessary. Like it was. I get build up, right? And we all want build up, and we all want trash talk. But they were just on some other shit, man. Like, what is wrong with y'all? I honestly want Diaz to win. Yeah, see, I think the reason why I would like Diaz to win if I were rooting for somebody is because I do appreciate that he did fight everybody. Whoever he calls out, he fights, right? He fought Gary Russell Jr., even though he didn't have to, right? He fought Tevin Farmer, which to me is, I'm still kind of like, he gave me like weird vibes when he didn't want to give Tevin Farmer the rematch, even though they had agreed, like it was already a rematch clause in the contract. So I always think that's like really fucked up. Um, but he's about it, right? And it almost looked like he was gonna duck Devin Haney because even though he fought for the eliminator to fight Devin Haney, he was gonna fight Ryan instead, who had already won an eliminator to fight Devin Haney. So all that shit was stupid to me. How Ryan won the eliminator to fight Devin Haney, but he wasn't gonna fight Devin Haney. He was looking for fucking Manny Pacquiao. He was looking for other shit, right? For Fortuna, right? And then you had JoJo, who fought for Tuna and beat him to become also the mandatory for Devin Haney. And instead of fighting Devin Haney, he wanted to fight the other guy who also won an eliminator to fight Devin Haney. I'm not saying these guys are scared. I'm not saying they're ducking. I'm just saying it's really weird. And if you saw this shit in any other division, you would criticize it, right? If you saw that a guy won a mandatory for a title and instead of fighting for the title, he fought somebody else, you'd be like, don't you want a title? Like, what is wrong with you? What is the point of you fighting for an eliminator if you're not going to follow up and fight that guy that has the belt? Because that's the point of elimination bout, right? That's the point for title elimination bouts. If you sign up for a title elimination bout, that means you're supposed to fight the guy if you win. And for Jojo Diaz, I'm glad that even though at first he was going to fight Ryan Garcia, Ryan Garcia pulled out once again. And instead of fighting, let's say, just some random to pass the time, he took the Haney fight. So I do gotta give it to JoJo, and I feel like that's the reason why I would be rooting for him. But at the same time, I think Devin Haney's has more to offer in the division should he win, and should he fight everybody else. And Devin Haney is also a free agent. Yes, he fights on Matchroom right now, but he is a free agent. So I think it should facilitate making fights with somebody else. Let's see. Oh my god, am I? I don't know how I'm in the comments. Oh my god, hold on. I am way behind on the comments. I'm sorry. Hold on. There we go. Within 8 rounds, Jojo KO. All right, you go put your money. Put your money on it. Joe Diaz is gonna have problems in the second half of the fight. His last fight, yeah, I think that's what's gonna be the issue. I think he's gonna. I think by the second half, Devin Haney's gonna have better control. But remember, Linares hurt Devin Haney in the second half of the fight, so you never know. I heard that Devin Haney's starting to make weight and will be suffering. Ooh, where'd you hear that from? Give us the deets. Give us the tea. Triller fights Murgot. I don't know what that means. Murgot. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Haney by unanimous decision. Why am I saying the comments all over again? This is so weird. Let's see. Okay. I don't know why my comments did that. They went like back to like the first ones. And I don't know why. Let's see. I see y'all being friendly in the comment section. I love to see it. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Ooh, let me go back. Sorry guys. It went like all up for some reason. You think people not giving Jojo enough credit? I'm not saying that he doesn't. I think it's because he's shown lack of discipline before. He has not made weight twice, right? Jojo himself has not made weight twice. He had a title opportunity before, I think for the WBA, and he didn't make weight. So even though he won the fight, he didn't get the title because he didn't make weight. So I think it's that, right? It's like the not making weight that kind of, I think, got people like, kind of just hesitant to get behind him, I guess. Imagine if Cruz shocks the bro. I would go crazy. I'll fucking go crazy. I don't think so though. I think Cruz has a style tailored made for Tank because I think it's gonna be good while it lasts. Kind of like Santa Cruz versus Gervonta. I saw that fight today. I rewatched Gervonta versus Tank, and that was a good fight while it lasted. I remember I watched that at my friend's house, and it was a good fight. But I'm like, goddamn, like that was a good fight. Leo Santa Cruz was doing well while it lasted, right? And you could tell though that that Tank really didn't respect his power. Tank didn't respect uh Santa Cruz's power, so he was kind of letting him just kind of land on him just so that he can land something back. But it was a good fight, and I think it's gonna be pretty similar with with Cruz. I just think Cruz gets caught sooner because he hasn't been in there with the level of opposition, you know. But I think it's gonna be a good fight. Not to get upset, what about Canelo against? Oh, that eh. I mean, I guess like it's just Canelo wants to make history. I guess I would rather see the Benavides fight or any other fight that's makes more sense than this. But if Canelo, I don't know. I guess it's Canelo. He can do whatever the fuck he wants now. He really can do whatever the fuck he wants to. So I mean, I guess I'd rather see something else, but I'm not gonna complain. And thank you, Kyle. Thank you. I'm gonna try to make this better, like by the beginning of next year. Like trying to actually make it look nice, not just me like on the computer with my kids in the background. Like I'm gonna try to make it nice by next year. Like start a nice little segment. I wonder if JoJo step. No, I don't think so. He has trouble making weight. Kyle, what run does Tank stop Cruz? I'm gonna say 4 or 5. I'm gonna say 4 or 5 because Isaac Cruz has that style that's gonna make him just food for Tank. It's better than Rolly in my opinion. I think Cruz does better than Rolly. He does better than Rolly in the way that like he's gonna look better than Rolly would have. Rolly didn't even look good in his last fight. Do you think that? Yes, he should. Not an extra trainer, another trainer, like a trainer, not his dad. Not his dad. Thank you guys. Y'all are so nice to me. Lute Valesa today, Ryan Garcia's bigger money fight than Haney for Cambosos. I wouldn't doubt it because Ryan got all his across on social media platforms. He has like 10 million followers, right? Which he can market this fight to, but I don't think Ryan deserves it. I don't think Ryan deserves this. Honestly, he doesn't. Ryan doesn't deserve a shot against Cambosos before Devin Haney or before anybody else, really. In my opinion, though. In my opinion, he doesn't. He should come back and fight his way up like normal. Hi. Sean says they have JoJo as a bigger underdog this time than he was against. Oh shit! Really? That's crazy. Yes. Uh, whichever one you prefer. I think with Russell I understand it because I didn't think he would beat Russell. Even though the ref was a little bit on some bullshit, but I still think Russell was gonna win. With Farmer, I don't know. That one was kind of weird to me. But that's crazy. Bigger underdog than with Russell. I guess we're gonna see. I guess we're gonna see. What do you think, Sean? Who do you think? Who do you think is gonna win? Because I think Devin Haney's gonna win, but Georgia should make it interesting. No. Until they release that, whatever that is. I'm happy JoJo. Yes, he deserves it because I don't know if you know, but he had like gotten into some trouble where they repoed his car and he was pawning jewelry. Remember Ryan made fun of him for it. Remember when Ryan was gonna fight with JoJo? He told him, "Hopefully you get paid so you don't have to keep pawning your jewelry." And I was like, "Damn, that was hard. That was hardcore." He was not playing nice. Jojo K over Haney, for fuck's sake, not likely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate Kyle being here and Celtic sending people my chat. I really appreciate y'all. You want Cruz to win. I mean, I would. It's fun to see the favorite lose, unless he's your favorite fighter of all time. But it's fun to see an upset. It was fun to see. Hold on. It was fun to see Teofimo lose, even though I mean I guess with that one is more because he was getting on our fucking nerves. And his dad was getting on our nerves. But look at the Ruiz versus Joshua. Joshua didn't do anything to me. Like I didn't hate Joshua. I didn't want Joshua to lose. Right? But it was fun to see it, right? You want to see a ruckus on the divisions. You want to see the division be turned upside down. It's fun. It's refreshing because you know that now maybe guys will want to fight each other instead of marinating fights, right? Because you're like, damn, like the guy that I could be making a lot of money fighting could get their ass beat tomorrow by someone that don't even make money like that. So let me fight him before and let me beat him before someone else does. You know what I mean? Cruz versus Tank. Cruz versus Tank. Cruz can punch.
No, we can still make it.
Yes, he can, but that only leaves them more vulnerable for Tank to, to get him, to clip him himself. It should be good though. He needs to be relentless. He needs to be relentless, kind of like again like Maidana, right? But the only difference with Maidana versus Mayweather is that Mayweather didn't have knockout power like that. Maidana could take that style and just be relentless against Mayweather because Mayweather wasn't really going to hurt Maidana.
No.
Right? But Cruz can't take that same liberty with Tank because Tank will hurt him. Right? Tank, a 6, yeah, I think so too. 5, 4, 5, 6. Hold on, I don't know why this shit is acting so slow. I'm using my laptop this time around. I thought it'd be better than using my desktop. But I'm gonna buy a desktop for Christmas. Ah,
For me?
for me. Hold on. This shit is tripping, y'all. I need to think they'll go, but they should. They should, right? Because oh my god, what the fuck? They should go to Australia because he has all the belts, and if you're getting the belts and you want the belts, then get the belts, right? Oh my god, y'all! I don't know why the fuck this shit is acting so stupid. I'm dead as using my laptop, which is newer than my desktop. So why is it acting this fucking stupid? Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. So I'm gonna answer the last of these questions and I'm gonna log off because it's just acting fucking stupid. But yeah, I don't think any of them go to Australia. Maybe Lomachenko, but Lomachenko got a fight in February with Comey, right? So Lomachenko got to fight Comey first, and I think that's already. Let's see, that's December, January, February. That's 3 months already. That Cambosos is gonna be waiting for an opponent, and maybe he does want to take a long break because this fight was fucking long. This camp that he had for Teofimo was long because